Welcome footy fans, and here we are a few days after our little defeat against Essendon. Yes, it was a small upset. It wasn't a major thrashing on our part. It wasn't upset as far as the punters went and the rest of the fans went. I certainly thought we were going to beat the Dons. Essendon were 3-0 undefeated just like us at that stage of the game.
I fell into the ring of fire. I fell into the burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire.
And the final score, 15 goals 19 to 11 goals 13. Just goes to show that, look, goals win games. And look, those 13 points that Carlton kicked, look, I'm not really worried about the Essendon score. They kicked more than we did and they won by 4 or 5 goals. That's the name of the game. 4 points go to Essendon, zip to Carlton. Several of those 13 points that we kicked could have been and should have been goals. That's what makes this defeat so frustrating. We were in the game. What really showed the difference was the tackling and how they responded to it and how they dished it out. The first quarter was really hectic, fast and furious. Carrazzo's out for a few weeks, maybe a season. Don't know when you have those sort of injuries. They're always optimistic when they come out of the medical reports, but they'll be truthful with it and they'll tell us whether he's going to be back later on in the season or earlier in the season. That's up to the medical staff, not to bring him back too soon and to give him enough time to get a bit of fitness up for the finals. Yes, we're still a finals contender. That's the important thing about being a Carlton fan this year. Come on you Blues, it's finals time again. This little upset. Look, they just tackled so hard. They were ferocious at the player and the ball, just like we've been the last few weeks. And we came off second best. Carlton only kicked 1 goal after the first quarter. We had 5 goals on the board at the end of the third quarter, whereas Essendon, they'd gone from 3 goals to 12 goals. We were out of the race, but we came back as strong as we could. 6 goals to Carlton in the last quarter, 3 goals to Essendon in the last quarter. We were coming back strongly, but we just couldn't get those other goals that we needed. In the second and third quarters, we kicked 1 goal 8. They are the scores that don't win your games of football. And there's not that many rush points in a game of footy, don't forget, these days. So 1 goal 8 pretty much shows how our inaccuracy really did cost us on the day. Essendon weren't all that good either. They kicked another 13 points after the first quarter. 3 goals 6, and then up with 19 points. 15 goals 19. So inaccuracy is the game crunching decider. When it comes to games of footy, you've got to kick those goals. I always go on about it, but this is the thing, goals win games. Apart from Carrazzo, Laidley and Yarran also collected injuries during the game, but they should be okay for the next week. And next week is going to be a tough call up against the Fremantle Dockers. They're riding on a bit of a streak at the moment, stitched up Sydney well and truly. Essendon, they've got to come against Collingwood, the Anzac Day clash. The season is starting to take some shape. We've had all that little bit of hype. Look, we get hyped up. And I'm still hyped up because I'm going to be as positive as possible. I don't care whether we win every game or lose every game from now on in. I'm a Blues fan. That's all that matters. My team's the best team in the AFL. I don't really care about the other 17 teams in the league. It's all about the Blues and making the finals and winning a premiership.
Let's sing it again. I fell into the ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Brett Ratten was very pragmatic about the result. That's how you've got to be. They don't get eaten up about it. It's not the end of the world when you lose a game of football. It's a pain in the butt because we've missed out on 4 points, and those 4 points at this start of the season are so important because they add up, which is of course how mathematics works, but they add up to get you into the final. Once you've got those first 10 wins on the board for the season, you know you're going to be playing finals football. Then you're jockeying for position to make that top 4, and that's where we want to finish, to get that double chance this year in case we need it. In the meantime, it's getting ourselves up, getting ready for next week against Fremantle. First injury for the year, one serious one of course to Carrazzo, and that's going to be a vital deciding part of every game of football through the year, is the number of injuries. It's not about playing scared or playing careful, it's a fact of life. Football's a contact sport. These are athletes, they are superbly fit, but they just, by being fit doesn't mean they don't get injured, because the other players are fit well. They hit harder, they hit longer, and they run faster and stronger. This is the game of footy these days in the new century. In the meantime, it's time for our first premiership in the year 2012, so go you Blues and bring on September!
It's the